Hello everyone and welcome to the weekend video. As you can see, I'm not doing the thing I said I do. I originally wanted to do the rigging of the clothing, but I haven't done so, and the reason is because I forgot. Plain and simple, I basically just forgot until I made the video. When I was finished with the model, I was like, wait, I had another idea. But that shouldn't hinder you from enjoying the video. What I did this time is I prepared the next animation for the angel. I still have to redo the halo cleansing animation, but that is relatively easy. So this is not a video worth a video, it's just something I will do in the off time. What I did is I made an instrument. I tried to design a futuristic or interesting looking string instrument, in this case like a violin. I think violin is the English word for it. Yeah, and the idea, well, I looked at different designs of like electric violins, and some are really cool. So I thought, what about this, like an electric kind of instrument, and in this case I wanted to have a violin. The other instrument, the second instrument I will need, is a banjo, which I will do another time. This is for one part of the angel animations, where she will play a little bit of violin, and this is also already a view into the music video that I still want to make, where I would also have this time people playing instruments. I would have a singer again, I would have people playing instruments, and this is where the banjo comes in. A violin and a banjo, which is the instruments I more or less have like chosen for this thing. And yeah, I tried to do a more futuristic, more interesting approach to this. This is where we are. This is where I'm at. And needless to say, I actually forgot to make. I didn't forget to make the bow that you play with, but it is not in the video because I initially forgot. And when I set up the render, I was like, wait, I forgot two things. I forgot, for one, the break where you rest your head on, which a violin usually has. I mean, this needs it basically because otherwise you would, or the player would block the these strings. And what I also forgot was the bow to play, so I made that afterwards, and I didn't record it because it was really just an afterthought of, okay, I'm gonna do this really quickly. And I did it really quickly, and then I entered it into the render. Yeah, I had to come up with some ideas for this, and I struggled a bit. There is a really cool violin. There's some really cool violin design out there, and I didn't want to outright steal something, but I wanted it to look interesting. I still wanted it to resemble the original instrument, but with a different touch. So I decided I'm going for this kind of fairy style instrument. There is the strings are there, the bow is there. It plays like a violin, it works like a violin, it should work, even though the one thing it doesn't have is a body that would reverberate and strengthen the sound. But the idea of this design is basically that the wings would vibrate when you play the instrument, because the whole thing is set up like a bow. The whole thing would vibrate, the wings would vibrate and make the sound. So this is the technical idea, which isn't really how this works, but kind of the idea. Yeah, I looked up fairy wings, found a really interesting design which I liked, so I decided I'm going to steal that, copy that, and then I thought, how am I going to do the line art? and you can see I basically put up a plane on front and cut out the edges of the whole thing, and then I thought, hey, I'm doing the line art as a different piece, and I made multiple lines, which I then right now aligned with the actual model that I made. I also copy pasted the outer edge of the whole wing, and I in the end will weld these lines into one. You can see that I'm grabbing all the lines. I'm actually forgetting one here for some reason, and you will see that I'm grabbing this later on. But yeah, this is something that first I thought I'm going to make the wing a bit thicker, but then I remembered that if I do the edge of the wing, first off, I don't need to do that, and secondly, it wouldn't work unless the edge would be thicker than the actual material, which I didn't know at the time how thick I could make that, so I had to make sure that this works. Yeah, and this is where I found out, okay, I actually forgot to make one of the lines, and I had to basically make this fix this by hand. It wasn't that hard, luckily, so I could just add this in and then throw everything together. One thing I had to do is I had to grab every single curve, or in this case form, and make sure that all the edges are hidden. I didn't want to have open edges, so I basically just hid them inside the outer frame, or inside each other in this case, and then I decided I'm going to weld them all together to have one object, basically just to reduce the amount of faces and of frames and stuff. I don't think I will actually rig this this model. I don't think there needs to be a rigging. The instrument will just follow the angel's hand and just be there, and in the animation that I want to do, it's she's just like grabbing that instrument from out of the screen, playing for a tiny bit, and then putting it back. So this is, yeah, so it's not really that complex. And for the animation, when I do the music video, I already have a few other ideas that I want to do, so that is moving further back again. I just need the static instrument to follow the hands, so I can just parent it to the hands of the character, and yeah, that would be all I need. Question is if what I would have to do, probably, most likely, if I want to make the animation in Cascadeur again, which is kind of a plan, I have to at least rig the models to make them importable into Cascadeur. Right now I have no idea how to import something, how to import an object in Cascadeur. I've seen some tutorials, but for some reason it didn't work for me, so I have to actually look how to do that myself. And yeah, that is something that I simply have to do. So I will probably rig it and then put it in Cascadeur and have it as a handheld, basically as a weapon, but yeah, that doesn't really matter because it follows the hand anyway. One thing that I want to say is you can see that I have a Genesis 2 female here that has a pose. I basically posed her in DAS, sent it over to Hexagon. If you are in DAS and you go to the export thing, there's also a send to option, and the standard options are Bryce and Hexagon. In this case, I just sent it to Hexagon, removed all the shading domains and all the textures, and then I went to work. So this is something that I had to do before. I just wanted to have a rough idea of where the hand would be if she plays. Because I wanted to make the whole thing in a correct size from the beginning. I could have just made the instrument and then resized it to the character, but that wouldn't have felt right, so I decided I'm not going to do that. Yeah, basically at this point I'm doing all the UV maps, as you can see, so we're already at the end of the video. There is a render. This is different from the thumbnail, so I basically did 2 poses which I really liked and decided for one of the render to be the render. Anyway, that's it for this video. We'll see what I do next week. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the midweek video next week. Bye!